Welcome guys, you are with Jagdish and we are learning NumPy. In the last video, we have seen some of the basic, very important attributes in NDArray. In this video, we will be comparing NDArray with Python lists and Python arrays module. What is array? Array is a continuously allocated memory which holds elements with the same data types. Well, you might surprise that Python doesn't have built-in support for arrays. Rather, it uses C-style or Fortran style arrays. We will see how it is. Let's look at Python lists. Python lists allocates memory in fragmented manner, meaning it's not continuous. Python lists can hold elements of any data type in any combination. Here I have declared a list which holds string and integer, and I am printing a data type of list and its individual integer. Let's see how it is. So the list is having the data type of list itself, and the first element in the list is having a data type of string. Similarly, the second one is also a string and the third one is integer. So it can hold different data types in different combinations. Let's look at array. Python arrays module. As I said, Python doesn't support arrays natively. So the arrays module is just an wrapper over C style arrays. Meaning the arrays module represents a C arrays. Although we write it in Pythonic notation, still those are C arrays. You can learn more about Python arrays module in the Python documentation at this URL. Here, let's create an array of float type. Remember, whenever we are declaring an array using arrays namespace, we have to specify the data type of C style array. So here in case D is nothing but float data type. Let's look at documentation of this array. Let's run it. Yeah, so its definition is arr.array arguments and keyword arguments. So here we have to mention this type code while declaring an array. First argument should be type code, and which represents respective C data type. In our case, we are declaring D, that is floating point numbers, minimum size in bytes, which is 8. Right? So this is arrays module. As I mentioned earlier, arrays should hold all the elements of the same type. Let's try declaring an array with different combination of the data types. Voila, it has given an error, and this is how it behaves. Let's look at slicing of the arrays. I am declaring a number list and then converting that number list into array, Python array, arrays module, not the NDArray. Let's look at slicing, how it works. When I say slice, that means we have to specify starting point and the stopping point of the slice. Here on the first line, I am printing a slice starting from 2 till 5. So this slice will hold elements starting from the index of 2 until 5. So 0, 1 and 2. So this slice should hold elements starting from 62 until the 5th element. So this was the second element, third, fourth and 5th. Let's check what is printed. 62, 5 and 42. Surprised? Why 52 is not printed? Well, that's the behavior. Generally, the stopping point is not at all considered. in the results. So it should print 62, 5 and 42. Let's look at another way to slice. So here in case of second slice, I am not mentioning any of the starting point. So it starts with 0. If I am not specifying any number or any index in here, so by default it starts from beginning of the array, which is 0th index. And then it continues until -5. What is -5? Why it is minus? Minus represents it should begin from the end. That is, it should not include last 5 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So these 5 elements should not be included in the output, and it should ideally have 2, 5 and 62. Right? So remember again, when I said last element is not considered, when we are printing 2 to 5, the fifth element was not considered, but in this case when I am doing minus, the fifth element from the end is also excluded. When I say 5 colon nothing, that means the slice should start from fifth element until the end of the array. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it should start from 52 till end, that is 52, 48 and 5. And when I mention nothing and when I don't mention any of the starting and stopping criteria, it includes all of the list. Well, this was all about the slicing. I'm not including any of the slicings about NDR in here. We will have separate video on that. For now, in this video, let's explore some of the built-in methods of NumPy, which are really helpful and very handy to declare the arrays in different fashion. Let's look at them one by one. I'm importing NumPy as a NP. The method arrange. Well, it generates the values with starting first parameter till ending to second parameter. In here 5, 10, meaning arrange will generate the value starting from 5 to 10. Well, again 10 is not included. So it's a general practice in NumPy that the last element is generally not included most of the time, right? So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 is excluded. Arrange can also have stepping parameter. Here I am declaring a range starting from 0 to 12 and the stepping should happen with 2. That is, the next number should have a difference of 2. So the generated array is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. 12 is not included. Well, again, it's a general practice that the ending element is not generally included in the output. Zeros and ones. These are also a handy methods, and data scientists use these methods many of the times. np.zeros 3. What does that mean? It will generate ND array with 3 elements and initialize it to zeros. Remember, the float values are generated. So whenever we don't specify any data type while generating the arrays, it generally generates the float values. In the same way, we can generate two-dimensional arrays. Here we are declaring or generating an NP array of 5 by 5 size. Right? So all the elements are initialized to 0. Line space. What is line space? Let's first run this code and see what it is. Can you guess it? Well, it will generate the numbers between this range. So the first line np.linespace 0, 10. This means generate the numbers between 0 and 10, right? By default, it will generate 50 floats. So if we want to generate less than that or more than 50, we can specify it as a third parameter. So here I am generating 3 elements in the range of 0 to 10. So only 3 elements are generated. Now again, line space 0 to 10. 3 elements between 0 to 10 having the data type int. So if I don't specify the data type, by default it generates floats, right? So what is the difference between zeros and linspace? Zeros will always generate zero value, right, as usual, right? So what is the difference between arrange and linspace? Arrange also generates elements. It also has some stepping parameter, right? Linspace also specifies some range, and it specifies how many elements we want. Here it's a stepping. So what is the difference? Right? It generates continuous array. Here the arrays will have evenly spaced elements. It's really very important, evenly spaced numbers. So when I say 0 to 10, it will generate 50 elements which are evenly spaced. When I say 0 to 10, 3 elements, again those are evenly spaced. So from 0 we have 5 and 10, so it is evenly spread. So the difference between every element is 5, which is constant. Here the difference between each element will be 0.2040813, right? So that's how linspace works. Let's look at the method I. So whenever we want to generate an identity matrix, we should use I method. So here I am generating a NP array of 4 by 4 dimension, and which is identity matrix. Remember, here we don't have to specify second element while generating array, because identity matrix is always a square matrix. So we specify only single dimension. We can specify data type, d type, int. By default it will generate floats. If you specify int, it's an int. Let's look at random. Random is a namespace within ND array, and it has tons of method to generate the random numbers in different ways. Let's look at some of the ways here. When I say np.random.rand2, so it will generate two random numbers which are distributed over 0 to 1. Well, this is uniform distribution. When we say random.rand, it's a uniform distribution. Where we can generate 5 by 5 array, I mean multi-dimensional array, in the same way. Well, we can generate multi-dimensional arrays using rand method. Just specify the dimensions here. Rand n. So this will generate normally distributed numbers in random fashion, right? So again, it's using standard normal distribution. So what is standard normal distribution and uniform distribution? You can go to Wikipedia to learn about them. I am generating 5 by 5 array using random method, so which will generate normally distributed numbers of 5 by 5 dimension. Rand int. When I say rand int, it will be generating a random int within this range. Well, remember, the range, the higher value of the range is not considered, it's excluded, and the lower value is included. So it will actually generate the random integer starting 1 till 99. 100 is excluded. If we want to generate multiple rand ints, then we can specify it using the third parameter. So here I am specifying 10. So 10 randomly generated numbers are returned by this method. reshape an array. We can reshape the arrays. Here I am declaring an array np arrange 15. So that would be a single dimension array. Let's look at that. Let's split this code. A equals to arrange 15. Let's print it. Print A, and then let's say A dot reshape. Assign second variable B. Print B. So what does, okay, there is some error. Okay, yes, I know that. I will tell you why it happened. So let's say, okay, so I am generating np arrange 20. So I am generating 20 integers, and then I am reshaping it to 5, 4. That is two-dimensional array. First 4 element becomes the first direction. Second 4 elements becomes second dimension. And the next 4 element becomes the third dimension, and so on. Well, previously it gave error. Why so? Well, we are reshaping it to 5, 4, meaning it should have 20 elements. It has to be 20 elements. If I mention some other number here, let's say 15 elements, it will give me an error. See, 15 array size cannot be reshaped to 5, 4. Rather, if I say here 3, that is 15 elements, while reshaping, it will definitely generate 5, 3. So the number of elements in array has to match with this dimension. Let's look at few more simple method: max min, argmax, and argmin. So rand_arr is generated here. It's of the size 10 and random values from 1 to 100. Let's print it again for the reference. Rand.max, what it will do? The name suggests it will return the maximum number from it, 93. Argmax, what is this argmax? It will return the index of this array which holds the maximum value, that is the index of 93. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it has written 4. In the same way, min will return the minimum value 6, and argmin should return the index of minimum value, which is again 6. Coincidentally, they are same in our case. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the minimum element 6 is at the location 6. Guys, it is really important for you to do the practical assignments. So go to the documentation of ND arrays, look for these methods and play around them. If you try to ignore the assignment, then you are nothing but losing the time. Later on, you might have forgotten the things, the concepts, and you will have to watch the video again. Thank you guys, and see you in the next video.